So, previous class we have discussed how we can create thread in Java. We have discussed two standard methods to create thread in Java. So two standard approach to create a thread in Java. Right? What are the approach is? Either you can extend from the thread class, either you can extend from thread class, or you can implement runnable interface. Okay. Also, we have discussed in the previous class how to create a multi-threaded application by extending thread class. Right? That also we have discussed. So, today class, our agenda is we will discuss some method of thread class. Okay. There are lots of methods there. We will discuss gradually. Okay. So today we will focus couple of methods like the split method, join method, to fetch the name or set the name of a thread or get the thread ID. Those methods we will discuss. Also, we will solve today some problem, and also we will answer a couple of questions. Question is, what happens if we start a thread twice? The same thread if we start it twice. Okay. Or what if we call run method directly instead of start method? Okay. So let's start with it. Okay. So let me discuss sleep method. If you want to temporarily block your thread for a couple of milliseconds or specified amount of time, you can use sleep method. Right? If you want to block your thread specified amount of time, then you can use sleep method. Right. So there are two signature of split method. I'm using one only. You can explore the second one. Okay. So this method is available in thread class. Okay. This method available in thread class. That means this method is available in the thread class. Thread dot sleep. This is how we can, right. It is a static method in thread class. Okay. Return type is void and taking a parameter, long type parameter that is in milliseconds. And this method throws interrupted exception. This method throws interrupted exception. Okay. This method throws interrupted exception. That means if anybody is calling this method, if anyone is calling this method, they have to have the handler to handle the exception. Okay. Thread sleep generally when a thread is sleep, when you invoke this method, interact with the thread scheduler to put the current thread in wait state for a specific period of time. That period of time you can pass as a parameter. Suppose I am passing here 100, that means I want to sleep or block this particular thread for 100 milliseconds. If other thread is there in the queue, ready queue, they can get a chance to use the register. So you have to specify the time. Once the specified wait time is over of this thread, the thread state is changed. Changed to which state? Runnable state. It's not running state. Once the wait time is over, thread is again the thread will wait or sleep for a couple of milliseconds. That millisecond is over. Thread is moved to the runnable state. Thread is moving to the runnable state. That is your, you can say runnable state. That is running state. Running state and runnable state. Okay. and wait for the CPU for further execution. So actual time that the current thread sleep depends on the thread scheduler. You cannot expect that I block this thread for 100 milliseconds. After 100 milliseconds, the thread will start executing. No, after 100 milliseconds, the thread which is blocked come to the what is that runnable state. So it depends on the processor availability. Once the processor availability and the thread scheduler schedule this thread, then only it will get a chance to what is that use the processor. Okay, so ideally it is more than 100 because it will be in a runnable state. Again, it has to wake up and execute. Right? So the actual time that a current thread sleep depends on the thread scheduler. That is start. Sorry, that is the part of the operating system. Is that clear to all of you? Okay. So let me take an example to consider it more clear. Okay. So I'm defining the one class that is my thread, which is the extent from a thread. That means the moment I create an object, it will give me a thread. So there, the run method of a thread class we have already discussed. What exactly the run method is? This is when the thread is created and you invoke the start method. Start method invoke the run method. Run method is the task you are assigned to the thread. What task you are supposed to assign to the thread that you define inside run method. So inside run method, what I am interested to do is I want to like say simply print the number from 1 to 7. Right? So for that, what it is doing, it will I use the sleep method here. It will print one method, sorry, one variable, print the value of I equal to 1. Here, my thread 1. It will print, then sleep for 500 milliseconds. Okay. Okay, it will block for 500 milliseconds, then wake up, then print 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. So each time, once it populated one of the value of I, it will block for this many milliseconds. That time was specified. And when you use the sleep method, thread.sleep method, when you use the sleep method, please remember that as the sleep method throws interrupted exception, you have to put the handler. So put inside your try catch block. So this is the try block. Invoke the thread.sleep and write the catch block that will, if it is throw the exception, it will catch it, execute it. As it throws this exception, if you do not check it, you will be getting comparison error. So you are bound to, your method is invoking this, bound to bound to have the handler. Right? See here, what happened? Sumit Das, mute
Yes,
yourself.
sir.
Mute yourself. Okay. So in main method, what happened? We are creating one thread object, then we start it. Start the thread. Start the thread in the sense, now how many threads comes into picture? One is the main thread, another one is the thread that new thread you have created. That is there in the queue. Right. So two thread will run simultaneously. So one thread, this thread will display the number 1 to 8. This thread also doing the same thing. It is also displaying from 1 to 8. Okay. And this thread is sleeping for 500 milliseconds. Same time, sleeping time I have provided same. Okay. And as I am using sleep, when the moment you use sleep, it should be put inside the try block. And you must put the handler for it. Because it throws one type of exception, that is interrupted exception. Sleep method will throw interrupted exception. Okay. Let me execute this program. Yes, the same program is set here. See here, that's my threads. Let me open comment prompt. It is last Java. Java C. The file name is thread2.java.
Sir, CMD is not visible.
Not visible?
No, sir.
Oh. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thread2. See the code here. Same things I have written over here. I am defining a class main thread extend from thread class. So this is run method. That means that thread I am assigning this task. What is the task? Simply display from 1 to 8. When it display the number, so it has to what it will do. It displays, for example, it display 1, main thread 1, display main thread 1. Sleep for this millisecond, display 1. Sleep for 500 millisecond, display next number 2. Likewise. Also main thread having the same task. I am assigning similar kind of task to main thread also. Main thread is also display from the number 1 to 7. Right? Let me execute this program. You consider more clear. So Java, the class name is drivers. See how they are switching. There is a context switch, how it is switch. So it will execute main thread. Main thread display 1. After that main thread goes for sleep. See here, main thread is display 1. Then the loop will continue. The loop will continue. I value become 2. When I value become 2, there is a sleep. So main thread will sleep, means block. Main thread getting blocked here. Okay, main thread move to the block state. So what happened? Another thread, the new thread that is created, that is T1, that gets chance to execute. So what happened? See the output. T1 main thread 1, main thread 1, right? Main thread 2, main thread 2, main thread 3, main sorry this oh sorry. Oh. Main threads here. Main thread 1, main thread 1, main thread 2, main thread 2. See here, scenario. Okay, so this thread will block. When it is blocked, other thread get a chance to execute. That is the T1. So they will execute concurrently and display the number 1 to 8. So the first thread will display T1 display 1 to 8, 1 to 7, and also this one, the main thread also display 1 to 7. But there will be a switch between thread to thread. This example you understand how the thread is switched if there are more than one thread in the ready queue. Okay, how the scheduler schedule this thread, how it will switch, how the context switching can be done. So that we can explain with a simple example by using the sleep method. Sleep, that means we are forcefully or we mention the sleep time. Based on that, your thread will block or sleep this many milliseconds that you have specified. Is that clear or any doubt? Am I clear this one? Yes. Anybody having any doubt, please let me know.
Sir, sleep is not a valid function. It will give error.
No, it is a valid function. It is a valid function, but the sleep function throws. Just recall the concept that we have discussed in exception handling. If a method throws an exception, suppose the sleep function is written something like this. Suppose sleep function is defined this way. Throws, sleep, here it is, sorry, sleep, let me write here. Okay, the sleep method is a static method. Sleep, that is long, right? Long variable is taking parameter, and it throws, what it throws? Interrupted exception. Okay, interrupted exception. This is for the sleep method written in the thread class. Okay, see here. Class thread, inside class thread, sleep is a method that defines something like this. Okay, inside class thread, sleep is a method is defined something like this. That means if the method throws any exception, if anybody call that method, they are bound to, what is that? Put the handler. Is that clear? Repeat. If a method called the sleep method, as this method is throws interrupted exception, this method is defined inside thread class. As it throws the interrupted exception, you are bound to put the handler for it. Otherwise, you will be having compilation error. That we have discussed in the exception handling. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sleep is a perfect method. Okay, don't think that if he is throwing exception means he is having some problem. No.
Sir, can you show the CMD again? The output.
Okay.
So why main thread 4 and main thread 5 are printed simultaneously, and my thread is also printed 3, 4 simultaneously?
4, 7 times. Correct. Good question. Good question. Okay, let me erase this one. See, this question is this is some of the scenarios that okay, देखो. This one, this two is display 3 and 4. Main thread 3, main thread 3, main thread 4. Sometimes you are having main thread 4, main thread 5. It is performing two operations. This doubt is genuine. As the thread is sleeping for 500 milliseconds, okay. So other thread should get a chance. It should be main thread comes into picture. After main thread comes into picture. Why main thread is executed twice? The answer is, what happened? What I told you, when you use the millisecond, this many milliseconds the thread has to be sleep. How many milliseconds? The thread say main thread populate 3 and main thread go for sleep 500 milliseconds. Okay, immediately main thread is going for sleep. Meantime, your other thread also, main thread is also sleep. Main thread, suppose in this 500 millisecond, main thread already sleep just before say 5 milliseconds. So main thread is sleeping say 498 sleeping time. Main thread is there in the queue. The sleeping time may be something like this. Occurs?
Yes, sir.
This type of scenario comes or not? Let me
Yes, sir.
repeat. Main thread is executing display 3. Just before main thread, which thread execute? Main thread. Main thread go for sleep. Sleep for 500 milliseconds. So within 2 milliseconds, the main thread get a chance and it will execute and go for sleep. So when main thread go for sleep for 500 milliseconds, your main thread is also, suppose some millisecond is already over. So 490. So 10 milliseconds is still over. And still 490 milliseconds is there for main thread. Means both the threads are in sleep condition.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Then which thread will wake up first? This one will wake up first. Where it will do? It won't get the processor. It will go to the what? Runnable state. So after just 10 milliseconds, other thread also go for runnable state. That means two thread is present in the runnable state. So it is depends on the OS. Okay, which thread has to be select and scheduled to the what processor. Okay, it totally depends on the OS. So that is why, that is the reason sometimes you are having one thread may execute two instructions. Okay, if you execute it again, same type of scenario may not be there. Let me show you. Say I am executing it again, the scenario may be different. Are you getting the same scenario?
No, sir.
No. Because
Sir, in the previous example, why not 1 and 2 got print same time?
1 and 2, no, not necessarily. It depends on the scenario. No, I told you the example that I given. It depends on the scenario. It may happen that the after main thread, the scheduler will schedule main thread, or main thread to then main thread. So that depends on the like the scheduler. This is not in our control.
So, sir, we will not get any question related like predict the output in this.
No. If anybody, it should not be. If somebody understands threading properly, they should not ask such type of question. If fresher or beginner, if teaching first time, they may ask such type of question. Okay, see here, if I execute it again also, you will be getting different scenario. It totally depends on that. And also, see here, another thing. If I giving, say, this one is more time, what happens? See here, I am giving 5,000. This one is 500. See, the scenario will be different. Main thread, everything is completed. Then main thread comes into picture because the sleeping time is more. I hope now you can able to understand. This sleeping time is completed, then it will pick up the same thread, main thread. Hope it is clear now. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Because I have provided sleeping time more. See, not necessarily this main thread. Sometimes it happens. If I execute again, the scenario may be different. Right? Suppose 3,000 I am making it. The scenario may be different, or 1,000. The scenario may be different. Okay? The scenario may be different here. Right? But sleep means, please understand here, what our objective is, you must understand sleep. I want to block my thread for a couple of milliseconds. This many milliseconds it will block, and again it will wake up. Once the sleeping time is over, it will wake up, and it's not directly getting the processor. What it is doing? It is moving to the what is that runnable state. Hope it is clear. Any doubt? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Why? So this example is over. Next, now let us discuss another method, join method. It's one of the important method. Okay, try to understand this one. Join method. The join method waits for a thread to die. In other words, it causes the currently running thread to stop executing until the thread joins with the complete instance. Okay. So if you invoke the join method, what happens? If any method or any thread invoke the join method, that means it has to wait the other thread complete. For example, say Let me tell you. Suppose I am inside the thread T and this thread is Joel. Joel, another thread said T2. This thread Joel, another thread T2. So what happened? That means the T thread has to wait in this instruction. The T thread, suppose T thread already executed 5 instructions. So T thread will stop and wait the thread T2 complete its task. Once it is completed, then T can start executing the other task, other instruction of T. Okay. Many situations when we execute concurrently, it may happen that some output of T2 required as input of T1. Okay. Few of the instruction, if we execute parallelly, it is fine, and some of the instructions are dependent. Dependent means it waits the output of T2. Suppose this is a T1 thread, T2 thread. So T1 is waiting. T1 after completing this task, okay. T2 is not dependent on T1, but after completing this task of T1, okay, if these are the instructions run concurrently, no issue. But after this, one of the instruction of T1 that required the output of T2 or the result computed of T2. So what happened? T1 should not execute further. Once T2 is complete, then T1 can execute the other instruction. Okay, in that scenario, that type of problem can be handled using the join method provided by Java. Is that clear to all of you? The requirement of join method, why we need join method? That means T1, if T1 join to T2, if any instruction T1 join to T2, that means in this instruction, T1 has to wait for T2 complete. Once T2 is complete, then T1 can execute the rest of the instruction. Okay, it's a very interesting function. There are two signatures of this function, overloaded function. First one is your join, it throws interrupted exception. That means you have to put inside try and catch block. You must put inside, you must have a handler. You put this instruction in the try block and have the handler. Handler should be handle or receive interrupted exception and handle it. Right? Then another one is your public void join long milliseconds. Suppose T1 is waiting for T2 to complete. There are some scenario T1 is waiting for T2 and T2 is blocked or T2 having some problem. So T1, how much time T1 will wait? Okay. So that time you can specify. You can say maximum तुम्हारा जो output मुझे चाहिए, but I can wait maximum of 10 milliseconds, not more than that. If you are giving that giving the result, it is fine. Otherwise, I can take the default value. I can start continue, or I can continue my execution. Maximum I can wait you for say 100 milliseconds, not more than that. So that you can specify over here. You can pass parameters. So that is why there are two variation of join method. तुम ऐसे तुम लोग तुम्हारा फ्रेंड को बोलते हो ना, I will wait you in Patia Chowk for 10 minutes. If you do not come, then I will. Similar kind of thing. Hope it is clear. Right? Let me take an example you consider more clear. In this example, see, here we define the thread class. Same things is there. This thread is sleep for 5 milliseconds. Display from 1 to 3 seconds. Okay. This is sleep is throwing interrupted exception. See here, T1.join. T1 is started. Okay, who is joining? T1.join means who join with T1? Which thread join with T1? Hello. This instruction, see here. From this instruction, we have a thread, main thread. Right? Then here we have created 3 thread object T2, T3, T1, T2, T3. These 3 thread object you have created. Okay, when you invoke T1.start, that means T1.start invoke the run method. That means T1 is now also ready queue. Or your what is that? The job set is queue. or runnable state, right? Then that means here two thread is running concurrently up to this. So this instruction is T1.join. So T1.join. Who invoke this T1.join? Main thread invoke this. This is the instruction of main thread. Na? This is the instruction of main thread. So T1.join. That means main thread here wait for T1 to complete. Main thread join with T1 and it will wait for T1 to complete. Unless and until T1 complete, main thread won't execute the rest instruction. Is that clear? Repeat. T1.start, that means two thread comes into picture, and this is the instruction of main thread. Main thread wait for T1.join. That means unless and until T1 complete its task, main thread should not proceed further. So main thread is wait over here. Right? Then after that, T2.start. Who will execute T2.start? Main thread is executing T2.start. That means main thread want to create another thread, that is T2.start. That means T2 comes into picture. T1 is, meantime T1 is completed its task. Then T3. So three threads, this point three threads is running, T1, T2, T3. But ideally is that हम लोग क्या किए, T1 को पहले चांस दे दिया, वो कंप्लीट कर दिया. I hope you understand the join method now. Is it clear? हाँ.
सर इस सिचुएशन में मतलब T1.join में कौन सा ऐसा सिचुएशन होगा जब एक्सेप्शन आएगा? कब होगा कि जब एक्सेप्शन आने से?
हाँ, this is a checked exception. You have to check it. Which situation there will be checked exception scenario will come. That is what your question है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe suppose T1 when it load T1, okay, memory may be full, operating system may not execute T1. Sorry, T1 is already scheduled, na? No, that type of scenario. T1 is already scheduled. When you join with T1, suppose you may not, I'm not sure exactly, it may not allow to join with this particular thread. There are some, when you invoke join means so many things internally is going on, right? Join in the sense it has to block this particular thread, and this thread has to get a chance. Okay, whatever they are in the like say your scheduling queue or ready queue or runnable state, everything is blocked and T1 get a chance over here. No, main is it has to block in this scenario. It has to block main thread and allow T1 to execute. So main thread has to block. That is not the control of. Is it in our control? No. We will block main thread in the sense we will block it. Then OS comes into picture. Okay. So in meantime there may be some scenario they may throw an exception.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you need to check it. If you do not check it, it creates problem. Clear? Okay, exact exception I am not able to tell you here, but you can search in Google if possible. I can answer in the next class also what exactly that exception is. But when it join in the sense it has to block the thread main thread. So that is not in our control. That is the control is moving to the JVM. JVM is moved to the operating system. So operating system block is when operating system block, that time there may be some scenario it may throw an exception. So that exception needs to be checked. Clear? So let us execute this program also.
Sir, it was mentioned that join throws interrupted exception.
It interrupted. When it try to interrupt it, for example, it has to interrupt the main thread. Na? Here in this scenario, it need to be interrupt the main thread. The main thread is there in the ready queue. Okay? Or main thread is using the CPU, so it has to interrupt the main. Hey, you have to stop. Let T1 complete.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is this is not an interruption. That means it is interrupting it. Actually, interrupted exception indirectly I can say this is our it is throwing a signal. When it is coming to the operating system level, operating system throw a signal. One type of signal is interrupt signal. Interrupt. Okay, and that signal may cause error at runtime. Okay, that error has to be handled, otherwise your thread will stop there. Okay, that is why they force you to deal with that, force you to handle it, and the other instructions should execute smoothly. Clear?
Yes,
Let us execute the code now. Hopefully I have written thread join. Yes, same program is here. Thread join. You can see that T1 will say T1 is start here. Okay, main is also started, but when this instruction execute, T1 has to complete. Then after that main and everything will execute. You can write here. If you want to check, you can write here main thread. So this instruction, this is the main thread. No? This code. So main thread should not exit first. Okay. After T1 complete, then main thread. Main thread may not wait for T2, T3 because they are running parallelly. If more instructions are there at T2, T3, main thread may exit. That is the scenario we will discuss. This become the orphan thread. Okay, I will come to that point. So Java C that thread is thread join. Java driver. Correct. So main thread 1, 2, 3. This part will execute. Sorry, main thread 1, 2, 3. That is main thread 1, 2, 3. This part will execute. What is that? T1. T1 ka A part tha. T1 because T2, T3 also doing the same task. The task of T2, T3 also same. Similar kind of task. So T1, this part will execute by T1. T1 job is complete. See here. T1 job is complete. T1 populated 1, 2, 3. Then main thread execute. Okay. Then this one comes into picture. Main thread should not. What is that? If I remove this one, see here. If I remove this one, the scenario will be different. If I remove this one, the scenario will be different. See, always main thread will exit first. Because main thread is not having any instruction. Okay, it will create the T1, T2, T3 thread, start it, then main thread का job over हो गया देखो. Java C main thread over file देखो. Still other threads are running. Okay, if you force that main has to wait for other thread to be complete, you can put inside join. You can join. You can write join here.
Sir, one thing I want to ask.
Yes.
So that you have written main thread in the bottommost line, right? Sir, if you place that before T1 dot start, I understand that in OS there will be changes in the speed of printing and all, but externally we can do something like speed of that printing, that it will be printed first, or internally it will be executed.
No. See here. Just a minute. See here. This part, who will execute this one? Main thread. This is main thread, right? Right? This
Yes.
is part. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This part, who will execute? Main thread also. T1 dot start. Right? T1 dot start executed by main thread. Who is calling this method? Main thread is calling this method.
Yes, sir.
Then after that, one thread is created. So this start method is created, invoke the run method once the thread is created. That means up to this main thread was there only one thread. Now T1 is comes into picture.
Okay, means we can do that, right?
Now T1 comes into picture. When T1 comes into picture, two threads are there in the queue. You cannot say that T1 will execute first or main will execute. This is the job of the OS, that it will schedule. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Take one of the thread and assign to the processor. So meantime, see here, T2 dot start. Suppose main is executing. Main is invoke T2 dot start. Who will invoke? T2 dot main invoke. That means T2 also come here. Main also invoke this instruction T3. T3 also over. Okay. Main simply invoking this function, and this is the job of the JVM. Send a signal to the operating system. They will handle this kind of things. Okay. Then after that, main another instruction is main thread. That is why this output is coming first. Okay, and another thread is, then once main is over, other thread is executing. And see here, this is your I will discuss something kind of thing, daemon thread. Okay, we'll come to that point.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So now this part is over. Now another thing is that, as you might have identified something, can I explicitly say that this particular thread has to execute? Okay. So as you have seen that there is a common thread, common instruction, right? There is a common instruction for T to T3, and which thread is executing? Because I'm printing here I, my thread I. T2 also printing my thread I. T3 also printing my thread I. T1 also printing my thread I. So I do not know which thread is executing my thread I. When it populates, which thread exactly populated it, I do not know. Okay. To deal with that, if I can assign name to the thread, T1 का जो है, I can assign a name. Based on the name, I can populate it. Yes, this is the means. Suppose this T1 thread I am giving, the thread name is PKP. So PKPI. And this thread is Akasai or Smriti I, something like this. Okay, you can provide name to a thread so that you can identify that which thread is doing what. Okay, we can have a control of this particular thread. So it is possible to assign name to a thread. Okay, get the name from the thread. Okay, and set the name and get the ID of the thread. As I told you, each thread is identified by identification number, that is known as ID. Like your process is identified by PID, similarly thread is identified by thread ID. So we are going to discuss now three methods, important methods: get name, set name, and get ID. Get name is, if you invoke this one, it will giving you the name of the thread. Okay, suppose this dot get name, it will giving you, this means the current thread is currently running. As you have said, thread is an object. This object dot get name, it is giving you the name of the thread. Similarly, this dot get ID, it is giving you the ID of that particular thread. The thread which is executing this one, suppose run method, which method invoking run method. So you can get the name, this dot get name. Similarly, this dot get ID. So get name, get ID. If you apply, suppose T1 is your thread, if I can apply, suppose T1 is a thread. If I want to name of this T1, what I can invoke? Get name. If I want to ID of this particular thread, so I can invoke T1 dot get ID. I is capital. Okay. Similarly, you can set the name. You can set the name. Okay. T1 dot set name, you can provide a string. So this string, it is taking a parameter as a string. So this string you can provide. Suppose I want to assign the name as name of this thread is Pradipta. So I can assign it. I can set the name. Whatever name I have set over here, I can also populate here. So when I get this dot get name, it is giving me Pradipta in case of T1. In case of T2, T3, it is different. But in case of T1, as I have already said, it is giving me Pradipta. See here. Thread name. Okay. So get ID, get name. For T1 only, I set the name. Okay. Let's check quickly. Java C thread name. Thread name Java. Java driver. See here, the name of T1 thread 0. Name of T1 again. Name of T1, that is T1 dot get name. Get name means किसका thread, कौन सा thread का दे रहा है? Main thread का. Main thread का वो बोल रहा है ID of main thread is 0. Then ID of thread T1. ID of thread T1 is 10. Okay. That ID is given by your JVM. Okay. So it is not in our control also, the ID. right? Then after setting the name of thread T1, after setting the name of the thread T1 dot get name. You set it, then you invoke it, then this instruction T1 dot get name. T1 dot get name is Pradipta. Means you are getting T1 dot get name, it is giving you Pradipta. Okay, and also see here, when you are starting the T1 also, when you start the T1, that means Ron method is invoked, Ron also populating this dot get name. See here, it's saying Pradipta. Inside thread, that is the Pradipta thread is executing. Then get ID, before invoking get ID, there may be a context switch. Then inside thread 1. So T2 is executing. T2 ka name, we have not assigned the name to T2, so that is your thread 1. The name, default name is provided by the your JVM through an operating system. Okay, so we are getting the default name. Here we explicitly assign the name, right? Then this is how it works. The idea of assigning name or getting ID, based on that you can assign. If you are Pradipta, you do this task. If you are something else, you do this task. So we can have a control about the thread. Based on our requirement, we can assign different tasks to a specific, what is that, thread. Either through thread name or their ID. If you know the ID of a thread, yes. If the ID is 10, you do this task. If your ID is 20, you do this task. Or if your name, this thread name is Pradipta, you do this task. The thread name is something else occurs, you have to do this task. Is that clear to all of you? Hello. Am I clear to all of you? Any question? Any question? Any doubt? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, any doubt over here? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us solve a problem. You consider more clear using this. Write a Java program that will create two threads. The main thread will read a number, and one thread will check the number is prime or composite, and at the same time the other thread will check the number is palindrome or not. And another thing, main thread has to wait until the other thread has completed their task. Main thread has to wait until the other thread has completed their task. This is what our problem statement is clear to all of you. That means what we are planning to do is, we want to create two thread here. Okay, main thread is there. Apart from that, we are also creating two threads. Main thread is there. We are creating another thread T1, say T2. These two threads we have created. What we are planning to do? This thread I am assigning one task. That is, a number is read by main. That number is there. And the job of T1 is check the number is prime or composite. T2 job is say check the number is palindrome. Same number here. Is the problem clear to all of you? And both of these three thread has to run parallelly, concurrently. But sometimes main thread has to wait. Let T1 and T2 complete. Once T1, T2 is created, main has to wait. That means main thread has to wait until the two thread has completed. That means main has to join with T1 and T2. Is that clear? Problem statement is clear to all of you? Hello. Okay. So let us solve this problem. This is a very interesting problem. Okay. Okay, I have done it partially. Let me add up something over here. So what I did here, I'm having, this is, I'm defining the main thread. I'm defining main thread. Right. Then I'm having a data member number. Okay. Number equal to default constructor, number equal to 0, and the parameterized constructor, I pass the number and the number is assigned. This number equal to number. right? That means the moment I create a thread, I can pass a parameter. Suppose number is 10. So 10, I have to check whether 10 is prime or composite. Another thread will check whether 10 is palindrome or not. Right? So what we are doing, see here. Main thread T1. So I read. Suppose you can write the instruction to read it from the user. You can take the user input number and pass it a parameter. So 10. Or say it is 1 to 1. Let me write here number equal to 1 to 1. Okay, let me pass here number. You have to read it. Take the user input. Right. So you read the number value. Then when you create a thread, same number you are passing parameter, right? And the T1 thread, okay, what you are saying? I'm assigning the name to the T1 thread. Set name is prime. That means this thread will check the number is prime or composite. Okay, and T2 thread, I'm just checking. Okay, I'm assigning the name palindrome. T2 name is palindrome. Means T2 thread will check the number is palindrome or not. So what I'm doing, I'm starting T1, T2. But the requirement is something different. Can anybody suggest me what I have to do? T1, T2 I'm starting. So main thread has to wait T1 and T2 complete. So what I can do is, so yes, sorry. Main thread has to wait, let T1 and T2. What I have to write here? Yes, I have to
Join
main thread has to join. Very good. Join with what? देखो यहाँ पे कैसे join किया है, देखो यहाँ पे था join, देखो T1 main is joining with T1 means T1 dot join. So here main is joining with which one? T1 also T2. है कि नहीं? T1 dot join, T2 dot join. Main has to wait for this and it throw what type of exception? Interrupted exception. So catch it. So interrupted exception. Okay, you can handle it, you can populate it on a row. You can write a system.out.println here. I am not doing anything. No. Okay, that means the main thread is wait here, let T1, T2 complete. Why the main thread is waiting? That is also important question. I will answer it. Okay, because main is creating this two thread T1, T2. Main thread has to wait. The thread is being created. Otherwise, the thread T1, T2 become orphan thread. Okay, we will come to that point, and your journey will take care about it. Okay, is this clear up to this? Am I clear to all of you? Hello. Right? Then you come here. Run method. You first get the name. Who is invoking the run method? So get the name of this thread first. So this dot get name is giving you name of that thread. I'm storing in S. If S dot equals is prime, this is a simple string function. You compare whether two string are equal or not. S dot equals means the string that you are receiving. If it is equal to prime, that means the prime thread T1 thread is running, because T1 thread you are assigning the name as prime. So here you can write the logic of whether the number is prime or composite. Prime number logic. Check the number is prime or not. This logic you can write over here. Else means if it is not prime, that means this is the name, as we are dealing with only two threads. Another one is your palindrome. That means I am checking else as palindrome. Or you can check as if s dot equal to palindrome, you do this. That also you can do. As I am having only two threads, I put in else condition. Else condition, what I am doing, I just check, write the logic, check whether it is palindrome or not. I hope everybody knows the logic, check the number is palindrome or not. If you reverse it, it should be same. Here it is 1 to 1 is the input. 1 to 1 is the input, should be palindrome. Okay. If you execute it, you see here. One part I have not written. Okay. So you can write it. Java C, that is thread palindrome. Palindrome.java. Okay. Java, that is the class. The driver class name is, yes, driver. So palindrome checking कहाँ पे प्रिंट किया है देखो, palindrome checking, yes, else condition is satisfied, writing palindrome checking, right? Then prime number checking, another thread come over here, prime number checking, as I have not written anything, okay, you have to write the code for here, whether it is prime or not, here you have to write the code, right? Then see here, uh, prime number checking, the number 1 to 1 is palindrome, it's saying, see here, applying this, the logic that I applied, okay, it will execute, then if temp equal to sum, the number is palindrome, the number equal to 121, I think where I have populated again, number equal to 121, any point I have populated number equal to 121, number is palindrome, somewhere it print, acha, here, your other thread is printing number equal to 121. Is that clear? Or should I write the logic for prime number? Or you can write it. Hello? Hello? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can write the logic, prime number, simple logic, you can write it. So I hope you have another class. Okay, so let me stop here. Any question?
So that S equals to once again.
And this one, which one? Oh, this one. A is equals to check two string are equal or not. What you are doing in C programming language, you are comparing strcmp. No, you are writing strcmp. You are writing in C, just recall strcmp s1 comma s2. Two string are equal or not. In Java, what you can do is this string s is an object. Okay, this object, suppose you are getting a value. The value enters as a palindrome. Then s value is a palindrome. So when you invoke s dot equals, is a function of string class. S is an object, equals. What we are checking? Prime. Prime is the string. So s का value क्या है? Palindrome. ये prime. So this one is return false. If they are equal, suppose this s is prime. If they are equal, it is return true, and this part will be equal. This one will work just like your string compare s1 s2. So here it is string compare for s and another string prime. Here also I just passed a string constant. You can pass a variable. So suppose s2 is another string, so you can pass this one. S is equals s2 means if they are equal, it is returning true, otherwise false. Clear? Hello? Hello, is that clear?
Dot equals plus equal to the function.
Equals is a function. Function of which class? We cannot have independent class in. You cannot have independent function in Java. It must belong to a class. Which class? String is a class. String is a predefined class. We have discussed many times now. Inside which we are having a function. String अंदर एक function है equals. वो क्या करेगा? एक string के parameter लेगा s and return what is that boolean value. It's true or false return करेगा. Okay. So suppose I am invoking this function through a string s1. So what it will give? So s1 is a string, s is a string. So it will compare s1 with s. If they are equal, return true, else false. You check whether these two strings are equal. This is how it is being written. This function is written inside string class. So as it's a function inside string class, it must invoke by an object. So s is an object. See here, string s means what is that? S is the object. No, string s means s is the object. Whatever it is returning, get name is return a name. That means that is a string. So this object is referring to this string. And now you are comparing whether this object s is equal to another object, that is prime or not. If they are equal, return true, otherwise false. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, string we'll discuss in the next session. Okay. The question is genuine, whatever you are asking. String we have not discussed, but there are few concepts I have already discussed with string class. Okay, we people have used many things from string class. Okay, in detail we'll discuss it later. That you just now remember equals is a function in a string class that will say whether the two string are equal or not. So you are invoking through an object of string object. String object means having a string value. So whether this value is equal to another object or not. Here I am providing constant. Not necessarily always you have to provide constant. You can have a variable like this. Is that clear? So let me stop here. Do you have class now? Or should I continue?
Let's not continue, sir.
Pardon? Can I
Let's
continue?
stop here. No,
Stop.
sir.
Okay.